Yes. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another amazing Friday Night Live with me, myself, and I, Jennifer Muntslag. I'm your moderator for Uncovering Creatives, and we are back here in Pakhuis de Zwijger with another amazing Friday where I have guests in the studio who I get to ask lots of interesting questions. And if you would like to, you can join us because we have people here with us in the studio. Applause for yourself. But also, if you are joining us online, thank you so much for doing so. You could also join, if you want to, in the conversation with the guests that we have here in the studio. If you're like, okay, I would like to know this, or this is very interesting, just join us, because you can go to menti.com, menti.com, and then you fill in the code. The code is today 35483285. I repeat, 35483285. Type that in at menti.com, and then you have a question, and I wanted to say it'll come in my iPad, and then I realized I didn't have the iPad. But if correct, I have help over there from my superhero Ono in the back, and then I will get your question and ask it for you. But for those here in the studio, if you have a question and it's burning, just make eye contact, like, Jen, I want to ask something, and then I will make sure that your question ends up here. Because that is one of the things that we do here in Uncovering Creatives. We talk to those creative frontrunners of the big cities of the Netherlands, of Amsterdam. What do they do? How do they do what they do? And why do you do that? How do you get there? And a little bit of all of those good stuff. And I have two amazing people sitting here with me. This week in the studio, fashion designer and activist. Those are the two labels I'm going to put on you right now, but you are so much more. Yelappa Visser, can I get a round of applause? And the two titles I'm going to pluck on the other guest, filmmaker and creative director, Teddy Cherim. Hello, Teddy. Yes, and also we have small intermezzos. Normally if you watch, then you know that something's coming up, so somebody's going to perform, somebody's going to do something. And this week we have the amazing woordkunstenaar. I was going to do it in English, but hey, I couldn't find the word. She's a wordsmith. She's a word genius. She's one of the amazing poetry Circle Amsterdam peoples, and so much more. Nour will be joining us. Nour Bayard. Can I get a round of applause for Nour? And you will hear more of that later. But first, my guests here. And Yelappa, I'm going to start with you. How are you doing tonight?
I'm excited.
You're excited. Are you close? Is Yelappa close enough at the mic? Wait, live TV, so it's okay. Because then you can stay comfortable there. Doing anything to make my guest comfortable. Yes.
Start to sit a bit in the back so you can see each other.
Oh, I can see Teddy. Teddy's all up in the place.
Okay.
Yes. So how are you?
Fine.
Yes. How is your Friday? Is it going fine? Is it busy? Is it all right?
Yeah, I just came back from a work day, and I'm recovering from a little flu. So.
Okay, but you're back in the game. You're good.
Yes.
Because you are, as I said, fashion designer is. I think maybe it's even a small label, because then people will think, oh, you make fashion and that's it. But it's so much more. But you're also an activist, a social worker. Somebody who is busy with, okay, we are here on Earth, but we are so much more than just fashion or just helping each other. Is that a good sum up?
Yeah, actually it became all one blend with everything. And yeah, it's still an adventure what I'm going to be. And I'm like to do so many stuff. So why not to combine it one day?
One day. But for now, it's just, is it separate actually? Because let's start with your day-to-day. For instance, you had a long working day, you do social work.
Yeah.
But besides the social work that you do, you also engage in fashion, but on a next level, in a way that you see the social aspect in it.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I try to announce myself more like an artist who is in fashion design, and then an aspect also in sustainable fashion design.
An artist in fashion design. What should we think of, for example?
like there's also a concept behind the fashion, and then it's much more than this outfit. This outfit has a story or a message, or it's so much more than you just see now what I'm wearing. Yeah.
And how did you get there? Where did this start for you? Let's go way back to the beginning. As a kid, were you a creative child, already busy with making?
Yeah, like you also can see here on the picture with my father, I was painting. I really like to paint and draw. And yeah, so I thought after finishing my social studies, as I've studied social studies, and after my graduation, I thought, okay, this is my time to explore more, to develop more my creative skills. And then I came into fashion design.
And what was that switch point? Because of course you were already like interested, I guess, in creating, it being painting, it be making clothes maybe, but then you do the social study diploma, get it. And where was that switch that you were like, yeah, but there is more. This creative bug is growing and I want to do something with it?
I think it happened all by the activities I did by time. So during the years and all my activities, it looked more like a combination of it, like with the society topics I put in my work, and I thought, oh yeah, that's really also, I saw the importance of that.
So you were like, yeah, we need to do something with it bigger. Is that also, was it then for you a logical step, because then you went to the Academy Folk? But you did this during your, I would say, full-time job.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is also, we're giving like an inside view on how do these creatives work, and a lot of creatives are also watching, so we get a lot of tips out of it. How did you manage?
I'm still thinking now, how did I done it?
Yeah.
Like you got only 24 hours a day, but sometimes I wish there were more hours a day.
Wow.
But yeah, just I think if you really feel that you're passionate about it, then I think you actually don't mind to put all the effort and energy and time and work in something you really like to do.
What did a typical week look like for you? Or maybe a day, if that would be easier? You'd get up, brush your teeth, and eat at the same time, because then you save time? How did it go?
No, I try to sleep as long as possible.
Okay, sleep is
and then the timer goes 5 times. That kind of person. And then I go to bed, just my daily routine, go to work. And then, yeah, after my work, if I work on projects, then there's just small periods I work really hard. So after my work, I went to the studio and then I work on, fashion outfits. And then it's a really long day.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then still, you get your energy or your ideas from something, right?
I think also for the fulfillment, and then I see the result, and then I think, yeah, this is what that's what I've done it for.
So as long as you
also
know where you're going and the result is like, that's the reward, then you're able to do it.
Yeah, and also that I can see it gives a meaning to other people, then it can reach other people. That's also really important for me.
Okay, so let's go a little bit into a look of your exam project. Let's see, because if correct, you have. Can you tell us a little bit about it, or look first, and then we'll tell. Let's look first. I'm excited. Sorry. Yes. Finger snaps, finger snaps, finger snaps. So can you take us a little bit inside this? Because, yeah, I mean,
Such a long story.
what's the
I tried to
short
keep it-
version?
I tried to keep it short. Well, I thought, okay, this is gonna be my chance, and I'm gonna take it. I tried to make it big.
Yeah, of course. If you
And
got
a
the chance.
full blend of sustainability, handcrafts, my own roots, prints, colors,
Everything.
and everything, and also like they said multidisciplinair work, like zeg het, samenwerking,
Collaboration.
collaborations. Yeah.
So
So
you did it all because it starts, and in the beginning also you just said that was your heartbeat. We're hearing
I want to make it also very personal.
very personal.
And Rapta means connection, and it was the meaning of it. The message was to see each other, like we're all the same from the inside. So you're not more or less than me. So
Yeah.
that's what's the message about it.
Let's see each
to-
other. Let's connect. And because you also did a for the kunsten to make this happen,
Yeah,
and you
a part
you
of
got
it.
your goal,
Yes.
which is amazing because then you already know, okay, the people are with you.
Mm-hmm.
But where did this idea get its start? Where was the idea born that you knew, okay, this is what I want to make, this is what I want to share with the people, and in the end, it resulted in this amazing.
I think that for my fashion design, it's also a process, and also for the academy, I had to learn it. This was from the subject fashion collection. So while during the process, I learned about it, and yeah, it's really. I was thinking about my own experience, my own roots, and then it was also like I saw homeless people like all over the world. It doesn't matter which country, and then I thought, yeah, you don't. People just crossing by. We don't see them anymore. They were just like, zeg je dat? Onzichtbaar.
Yeah, invisible.
Invisible. Yeah, and then I thought, what's happening? We're not seeing each other anymore. Like, but we are the same from the inside. So yeah.
So let's find a way to connect. And as you said, indeed, sustainability is also a big part. Were you also always very much busy and aware with sustainability of clothes, or how we treat the environment, let alone each other? Was that also always an interest of you?
I grew into it, I think. Yeah. So also from the start, I was a figurant at Schone Kleren campagne. And yeah, you can see here, I'm in a final shot of a campaign video. And then I was acting like a fabriekswerker. Yeah.
Somebody that works in the fabric.
Yeah. And I thought I could be that person. I could end up like this person. And then it was really making also for me the circle round.
Yeah.
And here you can see in the shot.
So that's also one of those moments where the seed was planted and you're like, hey, this could be me. Actually, in another way, this is me.
Yeah.
So
you said it right, the
Yeah.
seed, and that was growing. Like all the activities I start doing from that point, like also starting from a fashion library, try to discover more aspects of sustainability and what can I do.
And what is, because sometimes we think like, okay, yeah, but I don't throw my clothes away. I put them in a bag and I throw them in the special container, and then I'm helping. That's what I used to think, and now I know a little bit more. We'll get into that with Teddy even more. But in the last few years, what do you think has been for you your biggest change within even your environment, or the way you shop, you buy, you share, you make?
I was really surprised by making the fashion collection Rapta that their sustainability is not one thing or one point, but it's just a whole process from the grondstoffen, the resources, yeah, till how it's in the bin. Yeah, there's so many aspects of sustainability, and I didn't knew. I never learned it on school. So yeah, I didn't knew better. Like, for example, most of the people, they think, oh, I'm doing it right, but there's so much more. And then you think you're doing right, but there's much more you can do. So that's also the challenge of being a sustainable fashion designer.
And is that also the message you would like to give the people that come in contact with you and your work?
Do you mean like how they can
what they
become
could do, or more aware indeed?
Yeah, I think I also talk about this with my friends a lot. So yeah, by little circles or people you meet, then you're talking, hey, yeah, I made this, or it's from how it's made, and I borrowed my clothes, and then they think, oh, they're surprised, and then I try to give them inspiration.
Lead by example.
Yeah.
Do you think that, because I mean that's what happens, right? With your friends, they see, they hear, and then sometimes you're like, yeah, but in the end you affect each other. Out of your friends, like if you have more, but if you have 10 friends, how many of them do you think you already have, like, hardcore on your side right now, much more aware of how we treat the planet, even our closet?
I think it's all start with a mindset to change. And then after mindset, they come behavior.
Okay, so if you're watching, mindset.
It's not that simple to change your own behavior on that.
Oh no, it's not. I know.
But yeah, I think, like for example, my friend here is and then she's now also borrowing from the Lena library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the fashion library.
Lena the fashion library.
Yeah, Lena the fashion library.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. I didn't know before. I love that, because you can borrow clothes there. If you want to, you can buy an item, but you can also borrow them. Like if you're on stage a lot and you're like, okay, I can buy stuff every week. Nice, but not so nice. But then you can borrow it there, take shine, take pictures, give it back. And of course, you treat it nice and well. But I think that's a great idea. I love the fact that you brought me into this, because, but you as a friend, if I may put you on the spot a little bit, you're influenced by your friend. Are you also now more busy with sustainability within your closet?
Yeah, definitely. I think she also introduced me to the library, so I'm wearing something from it right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna, because the people at home, I don't think they hear it, but she said yes, very excited. She said yes, because she introduced you to the Lena, the fashion library, and you're also now wearing a beautiful jumpsuit from there.
Yeah, and also I think she thinks about, she gives me.
Oh, there's a mic coming. Sorry. Thank you. Oh no.
I think Yelappa is so creative, so she gives me creative ideas how you can clothes you already have in your wardrobe, how you can restyle them, or she tells me about second-hand shops where she'll go, or so yeah, if you see it working on somebody else, sometimes you think, oh, I need a lot of money to get nice clothes, but she shows you can do it with great materials and
that you already have around you, actually.
Exactly.
Are more people aware of that in the crowd? Yes? Yeah, yeah. You want to react? Yes, of course, please. The mic is coming your way.
I'm trying my best, but I'm not as aware, I think, as you are. But I actually have 2 questions.
Go ahead.
Yeah. First is, where can I find this library? Like, I'm
Online.
really curious to know.
Also online. And it's in the Westerstraat.
Oh, in the Westerstraat.
Yeah, in
Okay.
Jordaan.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna give you the handle in
Yeah.
few, but it's
Perfect.
Lena,
Yeah.
Lena, Fashion Library.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Okay.
think library because you're gonna borrow stuff and you get back, but then from fashion.
Perfect.
It's amazing. The website also looks amazing. It's a little bit of a plug, but hey,
I'm
Yes.
excited. I'm excited.
right?
Second question. I'm really curious to know what the story is behind the outfit you're wearing today, because I really like it. You look beautiful, but I'm
Thank you.
really curious about the story behind it. So
Tell us a little bit.
Well, the pantalon and the top. It's did I show it?
Show us the
Show it. It's from Indian fabrics, and I got it from a friend. And she gave it to me because I started a fashion collection in last December for a show in Spain. So I thought, again, in sustainability. And then I thought, yeah, that's beautiful to have these fabrics into my fashion collection. So that's how I started to make this design. Yeah.
amazing, very
Thank you.
unique.
Right?
Yeah.
And this, well, actually, because you say it as if it's very like, oh, it's nothing. I started a fashion collection. Oh, a collaboration with Spain, and that's amazing. But at the same time, you're making quite a career switch right now.
I'm working on it.
You're working on it.
It's hard, but I'm working on
Yeah,
it.
because is it? I won't say it's easy, but maybe difficult is also a heavy word because you, I think the way you say it, you allow yourself the growth within it, and that's important too, right?
Yeah,
Just
that's
feel your
true.
way through it,
But
and
also on the other side, I stay at my point from my side in social work to have a steady income, to have
the safety
that
net.
topic, the safety net. Yeah, and now I thought by myself, yeah, now it's the time for making a switch and try to make nice projects and good results, and then I can also grow
Yeah.
besides my job as social worker.
Okay, so now we have like social worker and amazing,
Yeah, it's coming more.
and it's
more.
coming more. So they're blending, and then
Yeah.
in the end, because you
hope.
do it all.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna blend into that more. But first, next to you, we have Teddy. And Teddy has also, you're also, there's an overlap here. You're a filmmaker, a creative director, and also now within fashion, you have an eye on what we think is going right, but is going the dark side of fashion. Am I saying it
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
Something like that. Something like that. But okay, let's go at first. You're a filmmaker. Where did that start? Did you always wanted to be a filmmaker? Were you the kid running around with a camera?
I turned into the kid running around with a camera when I was, I guess, 15 or something. We were making, we were studying film, propaganda films by like the Russians and shit in high school. Yeah.
Okay. He's like, what?
Older Russian propaganda films.
I was like, what? When was this?
Like, way back.
Okay,
and,
yeah.
And then we had to make our own ones, and that was super fun.
But this wasn't at film school. This was...
No, this was like in high school. But then we had to make our own propaganda film, and I think I made something about like that you should eat mayonnaise with your fries and not other sauces or something.
Okay,
Really, really stupid, but it was super fun, and that's where
You got the film.
I found out that I wanted to be a filmmaker for sure.
And what was the moment that you say, okay, that was my first film, really? Or do you consider that propaganda film about mayonnaise?
Yeah, that was
That was your first film?
definitely. We got.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, I still have it.
Why don't we have it?
I don't know if
You
it's,
wanted to spare us
it's
that?
great, but like we got all the boys and girls from our school who wanted to fight in front of the school,
Yeah.
like 150 against 150, and I was filming it, and they were, it was amazing. And
Wow.
so then I was like, this is super
this is
fun.
what you want to do. You
Yeah.
understand it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then did you went to film school?
I went to film school in London,
Mm-hmm.
one of the film schools in London.
The or
No,
just
no,
a?
just A.
Just A.
I would say, but it was more like a film course thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I went to film school, and then I came back to Amsterdam, started making films and music videos and commercials and all kinds of
But
stuff.
I mean, you go to London, you go to a film school. It doesn't have to be the because you're at a film school, but then you come back and you have tools in your bag, and you want to use them. So how, what Teddy came back? How did you? Because you went to London, different. I'm gonna do this, and then you came back, and then you were ready and loaded, so you could make all this stuff.
Well, I don't know. It was that film school had a very different approach than the one in Netherlands, where it's all about artistry, and they were like, no, you just gotta think about what people actually want to watch and then write. Like it was very commercially minded, which
So it was making for them instead of making for what.
for you,
you.
like I don't know, maybe in it's the British system, maybe it's, but I think it was also the school. I wasn't super fan of that, but it did teach me some things about how to look at the world around you and to decide what kind of films you're making. But also, when I came back to Amsterdam and I saw everyone developing themselves for years in this film school in Amsterdam, I was a bit jealous and worried that I was missing out on all the good educational stuff.
So what was with that, right? What was the first move you made then? You said, okay, I'm going to do videos, or you said, I'm going to grab anything that comes?
No, the first film I made was actually a longer film, a feature film.
De sterke verhalen?
Sterke Verhalen.
You-
It's a movie that I wrote it together with a friend of mine, and also in this school, because like we were looking at the Dutch films, and there were lots of like films for like Carrie Slay.
Yeah.
She's a writer of like youth books, and we were like, these films are super lame in our opinion. And we should make a nice one for the youth. We were also young at the
You
time.
were younger back then.
And then that's what we made. And so we just by growing up partly in Amsterdam, we knew some people who were already like actors at 18 years old, 19 years old, and then we put them all
Because
together.
some of the names you used who were actors in those movies are like known vested names in the industry in Holland now. Were these people that you already had access to? Were these friends of yours? Because we're also tips for people. How do you approach people for your first movie? Especially if you want somebody, you know, like you're going to be a big name. You're already a big name. How do you do that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also just growing up in Amsterdam.
Okay.
There's not like I was playing football with like these kids.
So
or
you
they
knew
they were
them.
in my school, so we just knew them. And like the main advice is if you're starting out, just make movies with your friends because it's the most fun anyway. And it happened that a few of them were starting to act, and this is why it came together perfectly for us in this film.
Yeah. So a good tip in that: make movies with your friends or those
Yeah.
close to you, because first and foremost, you need to have fun.
Yeah, for sure. And you need people who are willing to just do all this.
Do all this crazy stuff
all
that
this
you have in
crazy
your
stuff
head.
for free
For
and
free.
like for days on end. And but like if you can make it fun, you will have a great time together. I'm 100% sure. So
Wow.
far, every time I've made films with my friends, the best.
Great. I like. Okay, and then we fast forward. You moved to Kenya.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what brought you there and how did that change your career or affect you as a maker?
Okay, so we made the film, then we were just making like music videos and shit for like Amsterdam rappers, and like it was fun, but then at some point I made a film a documentary at the beginning of the Syrian war, like the border of Syria and Lebanon. All the refugees were coming in 2014, and it was very impressive to me. My grandparents were also refugees, and it was the first time that I was like making a movie or a documentary that was having impact on the place that I was actually visiting. And so this was for the International Rescue Committee, and it was part of a campaign that was bringing all this help to these camps that I was in. And it was very impressive to me to use our powers or something as a filmmaker to tell important stories instead of just music.
Entertainment.
Yeah, just entertainment. And I wanted to do more of that, and it's a bit difficult and pointless to send all these people from here to everywhere to make films about these things. But I wanted to do more of that, so I moved to Kenya, because then there's lots of...
Then you're there, and then you can make it there with the people.
Yeah, and
people.
there's like the UN is there for all of Africa, and lots of NGOs, and so there's a lot of need for film, and I wanted to be able to help doing that. So I came there.
So that must have been a big change for you as a maker, as a person, as an eye.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, how do you switch in that? How do you grow in that? Give us food for thought. Because I think that's...
Well, I don't know. Just moving to a new country,
Yeah.
any country is pretty scary and trip. And in Kenya, I mean, the contrast is very big with Amsterdam. But yeah.
It brought you...
Yeah, it brought me so. It brings so much. I can't even list the amount of things it brought. But
Yeah.
just the whole approach of filmmaking over there, and all the things I learned by being there and working there. It's I'm trying to think of a good. I mean, there's so many steps in my development there, but like.
Why are you here?
Well, okay, so this is a film, a virtual reality film. It's called Meet the Soldier, and what we did is that guy on the right, Enrico. So he was part of a tribe in Uganda who was fighting with another tribe in Uganda and Karamoja in the north, and because they have like this blood feud for like generations long, it's impossible for them to talk about conflict with each other because they just start fighting. And so we made a film, a virtual reality film, where we introduced the enemies from two different sides to each other in virtual reality. So like he would put on goggles, and then he would like be introduced to someone from the other tribe who would then like show him his house and his family and tell stories about like the pain that his tribe had caused him, and then the other way around.
So they see each other.
They see each other like standing right in front of each other.
Wow.
And yeah.
Super sick.
That was
right? Did you present that here also?
Sorry?
In Pakhuis? Was it here also in Pakhuis?
Yeah, it was here once.
I think I was, because I'm like, I heard this story.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know.
But indeed, but also, like literally, it's possible to do that with film being the tool, but to have people see each other, engage with each other, and change.
Yeah, and listen to each other, kind of thing. It's like, just like, because with VR, I mean, I don't usually make VR, but what's cool because it's annoying, right, to wear the glasses and stuff, and you get nauseous. But what's cool about it is like with film, you bring a story to the viewer, but with VR you bring them there. Like you cannot look away. Yeah. Even you're standing right in your enemy's house or something. And so for certain things, I think VR is still a very powerful tool, and obviously for gaming. But
Nice. And speaking of powerful, because we're also gonna later on at the end here, the people that are here in the studio with us, very lucky, we will be able to watch one of your projects, Goodwill Dumping. Eye opener. We're gonna know some stuff after this. You can't go back. The truth will hit you, but in a good way. But before we go too deep into that, can you tell us a little bit about a little snippet about Goodwill Dumping? Why you made it film? How did it come about?
Well, so I was living in Kenya and I kept on seeing people. It started with just seeing people in Kenya walking around in like PostNL t-shirts and stuff like that. And I was like funny and like really old jerseys from games, and something which I thought was the stupidest problem was like in the Super Bowl in American football, like both teams make t-shirts winning the Super Bowl, but the loser
Can't wear it because they're not the winner.
because they didn't win, and so but they made 50,000 shirts for everyone who's in the stadium, and so they always ship them, and so always there someone told me about it, and then every time I would see someone walking around with like winner of the Super Bowl, I would always Google because it was always the loser of the Super Bowl, and I found that such a weird thing. And then I started becoming friends with tailors who were making like nice, like kitenge, African style clothing, and they were having problems because of the mitumba, which is the name for the donated secondhand clothing, which was like getting in the way of their business and their industry. And so that's where because first I thought it was funny, then I found out it was
It's not funny,
it's
yeah.
not funny.
You found out the story behind
It's
it.
not funny, and then because I always thought like poor people would be happy with donated clothing, and in some ways they are, as you may see in the film, but it's complicated.
It's because there's more behind than
Yeah.
us or those who mean well actually also dump a problem with the next person.
Yeah.
It's
And-
bigger than we think.
And so I work together with Lisa Kono, who's a fashion designer, who also works in the space of also with sustainability and like I don't know what the right term is, but also with like reusable stuff. And we were talking about like the sort of monster that's been created by the donated fashion industry, and she created these monsters out of donated clothing, and they are together with this sort of the world behind donated clothing is the film we made.
Goodwill Dumping. Okay, we will be able to see that. Is it also online for the people that are home and like, oh,
Yeah, it's on NPO.
on NPO?
NPO gemist of start. The NPO thing.
You can find it. Google
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Goodwill Dumping. Because, but I think for you also, and of course you're human, you're made out of more than one thing, because you make stuff and you see stuff, you travel the world, so you're very aware of, oh yeah, this is also happening, this is a message I want to set out to the world, we want to do better, but at the same time, you have commercial stuff that you also do. You make commercials, you work with Snoop Dogg, for instance. That's like a bucket list thing. How do you balance that? Or do you separate those two, or is there room for everything?
Well, I mean, I find it awkward always to explain because it's not cool. Some of the
Is it cool?
oh well, I mean, this is like my dream. I
Okay.
had like posters of Snoop Dogg, so I would sell my mom to do like to work with him in America, and everything's super cool. But I mean, at the same time, working for big corporate companies or like G-Star Raw, or I've also made ads for Kentucky Fried Chicken.
How do you sleep?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, at the same time, yeah, you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm somehow lucky that, or I don't know, I'm somehow lucky that I'm able to at least make ads that are, I think, sort of like artistic and beautiful in a way, or cool, and Yeah, I guess I'm like a example of what's wrong with the world right now, because I see what's wrong with the world, and I really want to do something about it. And like all my other films are about what's wrong with the world, but then at the same time I'm still making money making stuff for KFC, and so I'm like the example of what's bad.
No, but at the same time, you're an example also of what's going on in the real world, right? And you're trying to
Yeah.
balance it. You got to
I try, I try. But also, like, I mean, ads, they have budgets. You can try all these crazy technical things that I would not be able to do in documentary or fiction, and you get to work sometimes with pretty cool people. And
Where do you have
so there's
more?
definitely upside
There's an upside. There's a
for
downside.
sure.
Where do you have more creative freedom?
Yeah, documentary and
Documentary?
fiction for sure. And then it's like with Goodwill Dumping, you get your subsidy, and then it's just up to you. And I mean, with ads, there's like that shot of the guy on the horse. There's like 50 people who have to like sign off on the clothing, what's the color of the girl sitting in the background that you can't even see, and like
More strict, more. You have to do what's on the paper and what the appointment
Yeah.
is that they made.
yeah. And then I still get my input on story level and like come up with some weird things, but then once they say okay, that's fine, then after that everything I have to show them the cast, I have to show them the props, everything has to be decided by them.
Okay, so there's more. The creative freedom is less,
Yeah,
and also time, I think, is
yeah. It's
Smaller
very
than-
compressed and short.
okay. Okay, and before we go, because of course I want to do our little intermezzo, but a small peek already at upcoming project. Because who are we seeing right here? Ruimteschip Aarde.
Yeah, so this is a Trappist monk. He's making beer and he's a priest, and they've been doing that for hundreds of years because it used to be that the water was just too dirty, that it was better to drink beer, and they kept on doing it, and now Trappist, it's still a pretty famous beer here. They make it in this monastery in somewhere in the south of Holland. But it's a story which is part of Ruimteschip Aarde. It's a documentary series that I'm making right now with André Kuipers. He's the
guy that went into space?
astronaut guy,
Yeah.
the bald guy. And it's a bit like about his experience in space, and like when you go to space and you look down on the Earth, you see that it's one system floating in space, like one Ruimteschip Aarde. That's why it's called that. And everything is connected and blah. And so this is sort of the story we'll be telling through 6 episodes, and then zooming in on animals and humans and science and like everything that's good and bad about
Earth.
what's going on right now on Earth.
So more food for thought.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, we'll have a small sneak peek because this is cool. Where are you here? Underwater.
Yeah, this was last week. We were shooting in near Curacao, and we're like in one of those small research submarines. And the lights at the window just now was the cameraman or the underwater cameraman filming the sub that we were filming.
Wow.
So it's lots of different types of stories, like undersea explorers and monks who are brewing beer and filtering their water so that they don't have an impact on Earth because they feel that they have to take care of God's creation. And
As we should.
as we should, yeah. But they're like super on the they're like on point on like every level of their giant brewery, and they're just complaining like, why are we the people who are like
Who have to
most sustainable in the entire beer industry, for example? And
Wow.
I don't know, but also just animal planet, kind of like foxes and beavers and stuff.
So you just dive into everything in Earth in the end that it all has to do with each other, and you
Yeah.
take a dive into how that works or who does what, and
Yeah, and we only have one
we have only have
spaceship
one planet.
Earth kind of thing.
Wow. Yeah, some people say, right, there's no planet B.
Yeah.
So we have to take care of planet A. Very good, A. Yes. All right, so thank you. I think it's time for our little intermezzo because we have a spoken word artist in the studio and I would like to give her the space right here. We're going to switch to Dutch, if I'm correct. Yes. Veelzijdige schrijver, ze doet aan spoken word, volgens mij workshops geven, woordkunst in de breedste zin van het woord. En ze is onderdeel van Poetry Circle Amsterdam, Poetry Circle Nour. En ik kan er heel veel over vertellen, maar zij is het beste daarin. Dus mag ik alsjeblieft een hele fijne vingersnap en of applaus voor Nour Bayard.
Hallo.
Hey.
Balanceer op eigen x-as. Laten wij elkaar kruisen, maar elkaar niet in de weg zitten. Wees het licht in eigen tunnel. Wijs voorbijgangers de weg. Vergeef wie het verdient. Laat hopen, laat dromen, want zonder hoop geen dromen en zonder dromen geen hoop. Denk groot, maar maak het klein. Wees beide de sterren in de hemel en de aanschouwer. Weet te verwonderen. Vernietig wanneer nodig. Wees dankbaar. Doe je best om en voor, erboven, eronder, ertussendoor. Door bochten en scheuren, voel alles. Vind jezelf opnieuw uit. Omring jezelf met goed, maar niet alles wat goed voor je is nu, is goed voor je later. Je hoeft niet in alles goed te zijn. Dus laat gaan. Loslaten is overwinnen. Niet alles hoeft overwonnen te worden. Verhoud je tot jezelf. Leef binnenste buiten. Laat je leiden door. Sta dan stil. Neem dan in, haal diep adem. Kom tot rust. Realiseer. Kanaliseer. Wees standvastig, maar licht als een veer. Weet wanneer je verder moet. Voel de wind. Ga dan verder. Ga verder tot je vooruit gaat. Ren dan naar het eerstvolgende wat je te wachten staat. Ik wacht op je bij de finishlijn.
Yeah. Give it up for Nour. Dankjewel. Dank je. En hou jij hier ook een beetje, want je bent hier bij ons in de studio, hou je ook een beetje food for thought en misschien zelfs voor in je schrift uit de gesprekken die hier plaatsvinden?
Zeker,
Ja,
zeker.
Blijf bij ons hangen, Nour is zo meteen weer terug. Ik wil heel graag weten of er ook een question is voor Teddy. You have the mic, but you don't feel pressured at all. Het mag, het kan, het hoeft niet. Want anders...
Ik heb wel één vraag.
You have a question,
Ik
yes.
heb één vraag, en het is een hele specifieke vraag. Dus maar ik stel hem toch maar gewoon. Ik vroeg me meteen af toen je dat verhaal vertelde van die VR-experience met de twee vijanden van elkaar, om het zo maar te zeggen. Wat de reactie was van beide. Heb je dat ook nog meegemaakt? Of kan je dat beschrijven op een of andere manier?
Ja, nou ja, het zit ook in de film.
Oh, oké.
Oh.
Dus die moet ik kijken op...
Nou ja, ik kan het je ook wel gaan vertellen, maar je kan de hele film online checken. En dan heb je niet eens een bril, dan kan je gewoon zo met je muis doen wat je anders met een bril zou doen. Maar we hebben de twee guys geïnterviewd, los van elkaar. En dus met hun op pad geweest, zodat ze die rondleiding door hun leven konden geven. En daarna hebben we gefilmd hoe ze weer in de studio die bril opzetten. En dus elkaar zien, als het ware. Zodat we ook konden zien wat hun reacties waren. En... Het was wel grappig. Die jongen die op die foto stond, Rico, die was eigenlijk wel wat rijker. En die was eerst heel erg een beetje... Hij was een beetje de son of the chief, zeg maar. Een klein beetje verwend misschien. Vergeleken met die guy van die andere guy. Deze guy.
Zoom in.
Deze guy was de andere guy en die was gewoon een warrior, zeg maar. Die was niet rijk of dat soort shit. Maar toen... hij was een beetje nonchalant toen we zeiden van... ja, je moet wel even laten zien hoe het dan gaat, zeg maar. Hoe het bij je huis is en hoe je je zou voorbereiden op de strijd met die andere stam. Want dat gaan we juist aan die andere guy laten zien. En hij deed niet echt zo zijn best. En die andere guy, wel, die had zijn hele stam opgetrommeld. Dus die stond met 150 guys
Ready for
in
war.
zijn filmpje. En dat zag hij toen. En toen voelde hij zich ook daardoor een beetje bedreigd. En dat heeft eventjes zijn eerste reactie soort van heel erg gekleurd. Dat hij een beetje in zijn eer was gekrenkt. Vooral doordat die andere gast harder kwam misschien in het filmpje of zo. Maar uiteindelijk het is wel tof, want ze hebben elkaar ook later ontmoet. En ze zijn nu allebei... want ik moest daar 2 jaar geleden, vlak voor corona, was ik daar weer voor een ander project voor de VN. En toen heb ik hun ook weer gezien. Ze zijn ook allebei een beetje dik geworden, wat goed is. En ze zijn allebei een soort van ambassadeurs in de region van, zeg maar... Het heeft hun heel veel gebracht. En het is helemaal niet zo dat die film verder heel erg... of ik weet niet in hoeverre het heeft bijgedragen aan een soort peace. Maar in ieder geval dat deze guys en de mensen om hen heen... die hebben hier wel echt iets aan overgehouden. En wat ze ook uitdragen. Wat wel nice is,
Dank je.
I guess.
Dank voor je vraag. Yes. All right. So, yeah, in this show... Believe it or not, it's one of the first shows, I think, in Pakhuis Zwijgers where we do it English. So it's Dutch and English. We do that stuff. Kan gewoon. Because now we're gonna go to the card deck. Ik heb kaarten. These cards. I don't know what's in them, but there's a question. The universe asks, and you will answer. So, very easy. Let's just go to the card deck. And Yelappa, you get to pick first. Left or right? Where are the cards? Doo-doo-doo. Yes, left or right?
Left.
Left. Left, oh no? Oh, universe? Do you have a backup plan?
My philosophy mostly is have no plan, but always have a plan B.
Have no plan, but always have a plan B. So, yes, no, you have a backup plan.
Just go, see what you bring, but always have a safety background.
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of.
Okay. Do you have a backup plan?
No. Yeah. I'm 100%
All in
on this, and if it doesn't work out, I have no idea what I'll do. But it's I don't know, and it's also I guess been a choice. Like after a while, I really decided I don't want to do because in the beginning when I was filmmaking, I was also doing other jobs on the side to make money.
To make money, to pay the rent.
But then they were also blocking me in taking on or working harder at film. And so after a while, I made a switch, and I was very poor for a bit. But then I could. I believe in I believe.
Yeah.
Now, or something. I don't know.
Good. All right. Because I'm hearing no, just go for it. And at the same time, I'm hearing indeed go for it without a plan. But if you fall, then make sure you have Band-Aids so you can put it on. Let's just see it like that,
Which
right?
is way wiser advice, I think.
Yes, I love that. All right. New cards. These are new cards. Left or right, Teddy?
Left again.
Left. Keeping it left. What do we have? Who or what is your biggest inspiration?
Oh my God, I don't know.
And maybe you have more, just name one.
I don't know. It's a difficult question. Can I think about it? Do you know the answer?
I thought about this question already
Yeah, you
before I
thought
came here. I tried to give a good answer. I think it's inspiration. If you have a creative mind, it's almost in everything.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
very small things or a big person in your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It should not matter, actually.
So you get inspiration out of anything. We're being very inspiring. We're expecting to
Always.
see something
Yeah.
out of this room
Yeah.
in the next collection and
But
video.
if I have to say an aspect, for me, it's also like video clips. I don't know, I was very fascinating about it as a child to see it, but also I think also the collaboration about the different aspects, like music, musician, the artworks, the film work, but also what they're wearing.
Do you have a specific, one of the specific, like maybe it was, as a kid I used to love, like Whitney Houston was, but also like Madonna, Michael Jackson, but now...
I was not really that kind of kid.
No?
No.
What music video was it? De jeugd van tegenwoordig?
No, but I think later on it became also more, I think also video clips with more activist taste. Like
okay.
also how Sia is doing it.
Yeah.
That's really inspiring.
Nice.
Yeah. Really fan of her work.
Hey, see? Teddy, time of thinking is up. No.
I was just listening. But also, I think it's more like things that are happening around me than that I could name one person who's like a big inspiration.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have a question for you. Go ahead.
Maybe does your inspiration come? So you make this film now op de abdij en de trappist. How do you come at such point? Maybe what's the inspiration to come to a point that you go to a trappist with the monks and?
Oh yeah, well I mean this one is a bit different because we're making the whole series, and it's a bit like laying a puzzle of how lots of different stories are going to make the bigger story. And then like I don't think it was my inspiration that I wanted to make something about these monks, but I did want to search for a story about interesting people who you would not expect that were doing this. But I guess it's a bit different than the inspiration for film. For example, I'm writing a film right now. It's a fictional film. It's about refugees. No, wait, it's about it's about a guy, a binnenvaartschipper. So he has a binnenvaartschip, a cargo ship on the rivers that you see here on the IJ all the time. And he's transporting sand for a really stupid, unnecessary beach bar in Rotterdam. And he's bringing it from somewhere in north of France to Rotterdam. And then as he's bringing it, first he hears that his mom is almost going to die. So he has to get back quickly. And then this becomes difficult because lots of African migrants, they sneak onto his ship and they build a refugee camp on the sand that he's transporting. And then he has to deal with that, but also it's like a reflection of the refugee crisis and how like Netherlands or European countries react. Like, this is my boat, you have to listen to the rules of the boat. I already have so many of my own problems. Listen, like these types of things will happen. And I guess this inspiration comes from making these documentaries and having lots to do with refugee stories in general, and then also living in Amsterdam North and always seeing the binnenvaartschepen going by. And
routine is the inspiration.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I think it's just life and cool stuff.
Does it already have a title? So we know what to look out for.
It's called, right now it's called De Maalstroom, but I don't know if it will stay like this.
Okay, but still a work in progress.
Yeah.
When will it be finished, or is that?
No, the script will be finished soon, and then we have to find money to make it. And we're writing it together with the Buddy Film Foundation, which is a group who's helping refugee filmmakers and actors to get work in the Dutch film industry. And so all the refugees in the films, their stories are written by refugees, and they will be played by refugees.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting. See, that's why we have the cards, and that's why we have an audience, so we can get this conversation going on here. Okay, so for the people at home, I think time is almost up, but I would love to have just a quick, small, because I think Teddy already said it, what's coming, what are you working on right now, what do we have to look out for? So I would like to know from you, Yelappa, for the people at home, what is coming right now? Or do you just say, yo, trust the process, just follow me on all the socials and you'll see?
Now, I'm not updating my socials that much, so
Okay.
it's better to tell, of course.
Yeah, yes, of course, tell us. Are you
I
working on
recently
something?
made an exposition.
Mhm.
It's called Nour Black, Nour White, and it's about how, like me, an Indian adoptee, experienced the culture clash.
Mhm.
I was apart from a bigger exposition that was called Under the Loop.
Mhm.
That was the idea of Elina Kuiper for her graduation project. And after that exposition, I decided to go on my
Yes.
own. So,
Where can we find it?
huh?
Where is it? Can we visit it?
Well, I looking for a next location. It was at the at my studio place,
Mhm.
and now I search for a new spot.
Okay, so if you're out there, you're looking and you're like, hey, I am the spot, holla at us. Or what's your you're not on your socials, you said, but what's your Instagram
am.
handle?
I am, but it's not updating with the recent work.
But you're there.
Yeah.
If they connect
Ye.lapp,
you, you're there.
yeah.
Just your name.
Yeah, with a point of my label.
YE point.
LAPP.
Find it.
There it is.
There it is. Yes. I was thinking somebody help me. Ye.lapp, and then you will find it, and hopefully we can visit your expo soon.
I hope it's in it's art in photo, film, and fashion.
Great. All right. Interesting. Thank you so much, Teddy. What are the socials? What are the handles that we need to look our eye out?
My
Keep our eye
name,
on?
just Teddy Cherim.
Just the names.
Yeah. And Cherim is a difficult name to write. But
Mhm.
if you write Teddy, then usually
Cherim will
there's
follow.
like three other Teddys and me. You'll find it.
No, Teddy Cherim isn't that hard
Yeah, but
to
like
write.
if I say it, then usually, especially with Dutch people, then it gets
Yeah, because I'm like, Teddy and Cherim is like
No, it's-
cherry,
it's
but like
pretty clear.
Cherim. Yeah. You see the handle, you see the name, you see them here. Find them online, follow, and keep your eye out on these beautiful projects. And thank you for sharing that. I like that very much. Nour, thank you for joining us. Where can we find you online?
I'm on Instagram under Nourishments, and it's nour.ishments and Sunflower Tree.
Sunflower Tree.
sunflower tree.
Wow.
Like that. And also, of course, Poetry Circle Nowhere.
Amsterdam.
In Amsterdam, we can find you. Thank you so much. To everybody at home, thank you for joining. We will be watching Goodwill Dumping here, and we will continue the conversation because I think there might be more questions. So next time, if you're like, yo, but I want to be there also, that is possible. Come to the studio. The events here in the podcast are amazing. They're free, and you are more than welcome to join us here. But if you're like, online works for me, then join us online. I got cut off.